Hello everyone, this is Shadragon back with some more water power testing. And we're going to try something a little bit different today. Slightly different loadout, but I'm going to try like a dual class build that I typically use for solos and duos. Now this wouldn't be viable for an alert or raid, but what I'm trying to do is build a survivability setup. And reading through the descriptions of all the powers of water, it does seem a little bit more difficult because there aren't moves that kind of heal and damage at the same time, the same way that most of Celestial's moves do, and a number of sorcery moves also do the same. Like in healer stance, they'll do reduced damage, but will heal a little bit. So I was actually flipping through this after my previous video, and I couldn't really find anything. So I slotted in like some healing moves and some damaging moves. But they actually made a hotfix just earlier today, so let me read down the bullet points. So they fixed a tooltip for water spouts, so no big change there. Soothing mist healing has been increased. That is the priority heal. Ebb and flow, they increased the angle on the pull effect to help with enemies bouncing off one another and going way past your character. Yeah, those pulls are kind of annoying, like when you pull and then the enemy ends up like a mile behind you. Flow now has a wider angle to help push some of them away. Dehydrate updated the timing of the visual effects to better match when the damage hits. Tsumani Strikes now deals less damage in healer roll, but also heals the most damaged group member. So before that was only a damage move. That was one of the combo moves that did only damage, but now they added like healing to it. So that was kind of a move that I was looking for the other day. So that's slotted into my second spot here. The first spot I still have Aqualance just because it looks cool. That's probably my favorite move out of this whole set. I have no supercharge. I put Solace of the Seas for healing. Drown, since it's the PI, that stays put. And something else I'm experimenting with is this is a non-Riptide build. So I have High Tide starting up. And defensively, there's a shield here, the bubble. But there's another power that kind of, it speeds up the High Tide cooldown, and that is Tsumani Strikes. Every time that hits a target, it kind of jumps up the cooldown pretty significantly. Now if you do Tsumani Strikes, you get 2 combo moves, and then the whole thing cools down, so you could like run it again. So it's pretty much a spammer. And by the time you hit 5 or 6 strikes, it clears the entire cooldown of High Tide. So in a way, it's pretty equivalent to the one Riptide move, except that you're more active doing this, and you're actively damaging, like while you're hitting those, whereas Riptide was just simply clearing it. So this could actually be better than using Riptide. But we'll see soon enough. Now, typically when I do these dual class builds, it's mostly DPS. Like I'll go ahead and build the DPS loadout, and then basically I'm just copying all the same moves over to the healer stance, and I'm just switching roles.
Jacob's techniques are vile.
Now that works with most powers, but it doesn't for the ones where the moves are split, such as sorcery. Because like if you pick a sorcery move, it could do something completely different on each roll. And that's actually the case with water too. Most of the moves like work with one roll, but really not the other. And the goal here is to try to replicate what I can do with both Celestial and Sorcery. Like with Celestial at level, I'm actually able to clear like a duo at level with an AFK tune. Because I've tested that with my other account, where I would just walk myself in and have the Celestial character basically solo the duo, but keep the other character at 100% health for the entire time.
Those freaks. They're using some thing.
Okay, right now I'm kind of not paying
I don't
attention.
know what's going on.
Okay, what I should be doing is hitting, like before, PI first, then instead of the High Tide, Riptide, I'm going to be doing Shield High Tide. And then it'll be Aqua Lance, and then I'll go into the Tsumani Strikes. And we'll take a look at how fast High Tide cools down.
I must have him. If I don't, I'll die. I'll destroy anyone who gets in my way. What?
You dare interrupt me? You will bow to Jacob.
I don't.
Jacob's followers are using powerful talismans.
So you do see that it jumps,
Disrupt their heinous acts.
but you have to hit something though. Otherwise, like if you miss, it doesn't cool down High Tide.
So you must be transformed into something that can get close.
Let me go!
This talisman will focus their desires.
But where do I go from here?
Verto!
By disrupting those rituals, you've spared a lot of innocent people from suffering. Now you must defeat the incubus in charge of the seduction rituals. Much of the energy that incubus was hoarding has been released, and their operation will be hindered for some time. Let me know when you've returned to the garrison.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is I am wearing mostly DPS gear. Like there are a few parts that are healer, but basically I'm only taking advantage of the stance.
The demons and cultists that serve Jesse
So
also harbor
basically
envy
higher
towards
resto.
each other. We're going to use their envy against them.
And if you do that, the DPS stance is only a 10% gain, so you can kind of look at this as just a 10% penalty. But I feel like the support buffs are better than the damage buffs. So that's why I like doing solos like this.
Now that.
Oh, whoops, wrong mission.
Such a wonderful master. Lets us gather energy. Don't take the energy, yeah? Hurry, hurry. Must not delay. No, don't take that. Must take this sin to the master. No sinful energy will mean beatings. Precious energy. Just one taste, small taste, just one. No. Remember, beatings. No taste, no taste. No, don't take that. Hurry, hurry. Must not delay. Don't take the energy. Must take this sin to the master. Ay, ay, ay. No sinful energy will mean beatings. Don't take the energy.
Now we're going to use some of that energy against Envy's forces. Subdue an Envy cultist or demon, then release some of the energy onto them. This overload of emotion will cause them to lash out at each other. Be prepared to give those monsters space to work out their differences.
I deserve more than them.
So I think
What
these
they
powers
have should
flow
be
well,
mine.
and I feel pretty comfortable moving in with this.
I resent that.
And even though this is healer stance, like these
No one should have
these
more
little
than
missions
me.
are getting cleared pretty
What
quickly.
they have should be mine.
Because the danger with this one is if you're underpowered and you can't clear both of those guys simultaneously, you might not be able to interact with both of them. But they go down pretty fast.
I will be all that they are. Feeble.
Unpleasant, but effective. And you've attracted the attention of their leaders. An elite cultist and a greater envy demon have revealed themselves. We want them to remain off balance and distrustful of one another, so choose one and defeat it. That will sow discontent among Jesse's ranks. Disorder and mistrust between envy cultists and envy demons should slow things down at the Nightstone. For the moment, anyway. Good work. Report back to me.
Let me try changing something around a little bit. Because the first time I tested this, the shark effect wasn't showing up, so I want to give that a try. And I'll put that in place of Aqualance because it's the thing that's going to take advantage of high tide. Okay, so it does work now. Oh, and actually, let's see what the high tide version looks like. That kind of looked the same to me.
Greetings, my friend. Several of our allies have been in the field for too long. Fight for your freedom. Just gotta make sure I don't aggro the Overseer, because I don't want to despawn. I don't want to despawn him for the second part.
You shouldn't have done that.
This only brings me closer to Jared.
And Tsumani Strikes has a pretty good heal too. And since it's a spammer, it could end up like being pretty big because you're like doing it twice for the high tide cooldown. Definitely good to have a couple of heals come in as you're doing solos.
The Transmorpher worked as well as I could hope. Thank you for your assistance. But I need your help one more time.
The efforts you have made to quell wrath have not gone unnoticed. Return to the garrison for a brief rest.
Okay, so I think this build does what I want it to do, and that's survivability. Because you saw the two overseers that jumped in on that, and my health was never in danger because I was healing while attacking. So yeah, this is pretty good so far. I'll probably have to decide like which power I want for that first slot, because both the Shark and Trident look cool. But this is probably closer to what I'll be doing on live. Although if we look at the levels of everything, that's something else to consider. Where does Tsumani Strikes come in? Okay, so I will have Tsumani Strikes because that's level 16. I will have Drown. I'll have High Tide. I won't have Aqua Lance because that comes later on. So I should be able to do everything that you just saw in this video, because Shark Frenzy is 9 and Tsumani Strikes is 16. Oh wait, I won't have Solace of the Seas. But that's pretty close. Okay, so we're gonna do a little test with my previous loadout. Although, let me swap in Aqua Lance again, because I kind of like that better than the Shark. It seems to be more of a 360 hit, whereas the Shark is more conal. So let me give you a quick history of the difficulty of this duo. So before CR differential, like in classic DCUO, this was soloable at 88. Or I think, yeah, it was roughly 88. I think the entry was like 84 or 86. Then when they put CR differential, this was one of the instances, and actually any of the 3 Trigon duos, they actually got harder with CR differential. Like you probably needed to be 92 or so. And then after the stats revamp, I think it's still pretty much the same as with CR differential, because I can still come in here with, I have a 95 tune, and I can solo it with that character. Although it probably feels a little bit harder than CR differential, so I probably can't do it at 92. So, but I just don't have a character that's in between. So the lowest I tested it at was 95. And this water character is 100. So we're going to see how it holds up. And I'll just do through the first boss because that will give us an idea. So against ads, it's pretty good. And 100 is like mid-range for this, because this goes from like 86 and it's relevant up until 104, up through 104.
As infuriating as he is. Well, look at what the Wrath dragged in. I'm surprised you made it this far. Now, Simon says, go to hell. Really? What? Inconceivable. Stop it. Oof. Really? What? Inconceivable. Ha. Stop that. Stop it. Oof. Inconceivable. You still don't understand.
So that was actually pretty easy. At no time was I in danger, and I didn't even have to use Solace of the Seas. Like that was purely Tsumani Strikes. So it's a very good move. It just does so many things. I think I have to keep it. Because first of all, it's doing damage. You're getting multiple strikes because it's a combo move. And it's helping out with High Tide. Plus it's healing you if you're in healer stance. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't work off of the PI. But it would definitely be OP if it did that. Okay, well, I'm pretty sold on this. And I'll likely go live with this loadout. Alright, thanks for watching.